Good morning. Oh, it's a beautiful Sunday, and I'm excited to be making some coffee. So, today, we're also going to be announcing the winner from Wednesday's contest. So, if you didn't know, every Wednesday until the end of 2020, because 2020 has been awful, the only thing that I can do to make that even slightly better is give away coffee stuff. So we're doing giveaways every Wednesday. Check out our Instagram at Tezpresso. Follow that, like that, and every Wednesday check out the post that we have to see how you can enter to win any number of wonderful coffee things so that you can have a better morning, brew and grow your appreciation and enjoyment of specialty coffee. And I am hearing my voice in my ears, and it is messing with my head. So let me turn that off. Okay. All right. So also we have Christian, who may or may not be joining us. He's got to click through the link, so we'll see if he actually jumps on here. I hope he does, because he's kind of promised. He hasn't really promised, but I'm going to pressure him into it, if he didn't already plan on doing it, to show us his method for using an Ibrik. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have no idea. It's that little like Turkish coffee brewer. It's the only brew method that goes like finer than espresso. It's just like as fine as you can possibly get it. You dump it in, you bring it to a boil, and I think you do that like several times on and off, so that you get this like super concentrated coffee mixture, and then you kind of like pour it out loosely. I'm not even sure how that part of it happens. I don't know if there's like a filter involved. I don't know if it's just like, hey, you've got some grit in there, deal with it. So I'm really excited to see what he's got going on there. I have one in my cart on Amazon, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So hopefully getting a chance to talk to him about that, I will get to learn like, hey, is this something that I want to play around with? Is this something that I would be interested in? So stay tuned for that. First though, let's get to the giveaway portion, the actual fun part. I'm gonna draw a name from we don't have a hat, but we do have a knockbox filled with cards of the participants from this Wednesday's giveaway. So this Wednesday, the giveaway was 3-month subscription to Tezpresso. So that means that whoever I pick here, they just send me their address and they get a bag of coffee plus some other goodies delivered to their door every month for the next 3 months. I think that's a pretty good prize. I actually feel like, how are we going to top that? Like, I've got to go down to like equipment stuff, but next couple of weeks will be equipment stuff. We'll ramp up to some bigger stuff, and then I think the grand prize, I haven't really decided what the grand prize is going to be, but it'll be either like Christmas time or like just before New Year's, whenever, like those two are going to be the biggest ones. And I think we're going to do one of the grinders that we have. So that's $140 value. And then maybe a 12-month subscription, maybe. And that would be a, $240 value? So let us see who's going to win this time. Let's see, do I have a drum roll sound effect? Let me see if I have a drum roll sound effect. Drum rolls. Nope, glockenspiel is not a drum roll, but that's a perfect sound effect for showing the winner. So let's, oh god, I put these on sticky notes and I can't even open the sticky notes now. Okay. All right, and to show that I'm not cheating, let's get that in there. Chris Ramsey is the winner. Wait, glockenspiel. Congratulations, Chris. I will reach out to you and we will get that set up so that you get 3 months of Tezpresso coffee. Oh god. Don't ever give me sound effects. It just means that I'm going to just be ridiculous. The other thing is, if you enter Wednesday, and I totally forgot to mention this to everybody, but everybody who's participated in last Wednesdays, then didn't win, their names are automatically added to next Wednesdays. So you have this like rolling effect. The sooner you get into it, the more entries you'll get for the grand prize at the end. So, all right. And so Christian has yet to join us. I'm going to send him a quick message. And I don't have my pause screen up yet. So you're going to have to watch me awkwardly just mess around on my phone. So give me a second. Let's send Christian a message. Oh, hi, Christian. Hey-o. I'm live. I'm live now. I'm live now. Still wanna join? So I had scheduled a brew along with somebody today, but that guest had a family emergency, and so they had to dip out. And so I just sent a little post out to the Brew Better Than a Barista group that we have. And Christian was like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. I want to get on that. Let's get that going. So hopefully we'll be able to get him to join. In the meantime, I have two other things to show off. First off is, and this is always embarrassing because I am not a professional woodworker, and yet I keep trying to do these amateur DIY projects, and like my skills are slowly improving. So I am going to show this off because I think it came out okay, better than it should have for my level of skill. But we have a beautiful little pour over stand, custom made, handmade, handcrafted. So check this out. Let's see if I can get that up there. Give it a nice couple of turns. Yeah. 3D imagery right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this looks like a kind of weird contraption. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're actually pretty useful. And if they're made better, then Christian says he's in, but he doesn't know how to get in. Okay, cool. Let me send him a link, and then I'll finish talking about this thing. All right, so it's a pour over. Oh my God, you know what? I'll put my apron on awkwardly here in a second. So this is a pour over stand, and how it works is that you have your carafe in there, you have your brewer up here, and then you have your scale either underneath the carafe or underneath the whole setup. So I think you can see that, right? Right? You can see that. So this, honestly, for the most part, it's like an aesthetically pleasing kind of situation. It doesn't really add any huge benefits. The only minor benefit is that you don't have to remove the filter at the end. You can just take out the carafe. Normally, it's like that, and that's literally it. And it helps keeps things organized. I like the look of it. We had one a long time ago that was kind of plastic. It was made by Hario, which I also learned that Hario is coming up on their 100-year anniversary, which I think is next year, which is amazing. Anyways, I digress. So we had a stand, and I said, like, that old plastic stand was meh, it was kind of whatever. So I made one myself, and it looks like Christian is here, and I am excited. Heyo, can you hear me, Christian? Hey, what's going on?
Hey guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me see if I can get you on the screen.
Oh, okay.
I never have any idea what I'm doing. Okay, we'll do that. There you are. There you are, and then there I am. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we can actually talk. How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm hanging in
Well,
there. I'm making coffee, doing the whole dance every single day. So, catch me up. What have you been up to? Oh, you dipped out. Okay, coffee stand. Hopefully he'll join back in here in a second. Do I have my water boiled? It is boiling now. So I'm going to do a quick brew along with this, and then... Oh, Christian's back. Christian is back. He's back. Is he back?
hey.
Hey, he's back. Okay, cool.
Yes, I'm back.
Let's do
Technical,
this.
technical difficulty. Sorry.
Oh, it's... Technical difficulties happen to me every single day. I've gotten so used to it that I'm just like, zero frustration at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are going to do it. Awesome. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I got it all right here.
Okay, awesome. Well, I guess now that you're showing me this, and I'm too excited not to just jump into it. So let's just jump into it. Tell us what you're doing.
Okay, totally. Okay. Well, let's see. I have to pick up the coffee. I still have your tappy gone. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have? I know that I've got the San Victor, and I had some dark roast, and I think that's all gone. So we're just gonna use the tappy gone, actually.
Oh, that's right. And you had the one in between those two that went missing because of USPS, right? So you missed out on the
Yeah.
super thing. Did I give you an extra bag of the San Victor? I
Yeah.
better have. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So we're using the Little City, the Tapagone, and then you've got a pan.
Yeah, we're gonna do the Little City Tapagone, and we're gonna get our handy dandy little metal grinder here, so we can get a nice, fine, precise grind.
Very nice. And that's the one
I guess
you
I've
sent
always
me a
liked
link
it
for
because it
that,
makes it
right?
really... I believe so. Yeah. If not, I can do it again.
Yeah, send that again in the
Take her-
comments. I'll also look and see if I've got it.
I like that it makes individual brews, so you can do it you can scale it up and down equally, just 2 tablespoons at a time. So take a nice little double tablespoon there. Uh-oh.
I know it's
Oops.
difficult to do this stuff one-handed, right?
Yeah.
And this is
I'll
so.
have to set you down first.
I've had this coffee a couple of
Go ahead.
times served to me. I've never made it. I've never really dove into trying to figure out what it's about. My only understanding is it's like the one brew method that's like finer than espresso. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like this perfect in between of an espresso and like a Turkish pot.
Oh, okay. So is an Ibrik a Turkish pot, or is that something different?
No, it's something different. From my understanding, the Turkish pots are if you've ever gone to a hookah lounge or like one of those like Indian bars,
Yeah.
big like brass or copper pot, like a vase almost, and they serve it to you with the powdered coffee in it.
Oh, so this is not I have no idea what I'm talking about then. I kind of thought that the Ibrik or like the Greek or the Armenian and the Turkish, those were all essentially the same kind of brew method, just like different sizes, but they all like use that powder and you just boiled it up. And is that not the case?
I think so. I've never gotten to play around with the other ones, but I think it's just a cultural thing. They have different names, like in Armenia, but I think it's all kind of the same concept. It's utilizing like a fine semi-powdered coffee.
Right,
There we go.
right.
Speaking of which. All right. All right, so now that we got that going, I don't have any sand that I can play with at the moment.
So is that water in there instead?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
use water as a
nice. Okay.
substitution because I don't have any of the sand right now.
Mm.
Just take your little pot, do about 3 ounces of water. My fridge has this fancy little gauge. It tells me as I'm filling it up.
Oh, nice. That's
There we
useful.
go. Let that
I wish
go
I
for
had
a
that.
second. Yeah, it's a breeze. There we go. And then really from here, it's pretty simple. Just take your. So I guess right now, this would maybe be a moment to see if that basket would still have any play with this kind of powder. I know it's really
Yeah,
dark, you can't see it. But I wonder if it would catch anything, or if it would catch at all, or nothing at all. I don't know.
I would also be curious about that. I generally don't use that little basket for like espressos. Like yeah, just looking at that powder, it would catch a lot of that. Like it might take out like half of it. But I
Yeah,
generally don't
I
use it
suppose
for
it would be.
espresso because it filters out too much of the fines.
Oh, so it gets too much of it. Okay.
Right.
All right. So then you just put the coffee in the water. Grab a little sugar if you want.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay. And how long does it take?
I think at this part, most people they kind of overdo it. You really should only cook the coffee for about a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my little spoon? I've kind of played around with the cooking times, and I've noticed that when you cook it for too long, it does start to taste a little burnt. It starts to taste a
Sure.
little flat, and I guess you could say that it over extracts it. Maybe just
Yeah.
because it burns or it evaporates some of the brew, and if it evaporates, then you lose flavor and you lose aromatics, and that's not fun.
Oh man, so you're not even filling the whole thing up. You're just doing like half a.
No, 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 no.
Can you fill it up, or does that cause issues?
No, the recipe it scales upwards pretty evenly. If it,
Yeah.
you just make it in so like another 2 ounces of water, another 2 tablespoons of coffee. I think you can get away with like maybe 2 or 3 people in one pot.
Nice.
It can hold a lot. But now we got a good boil going, so the camera might get foggy here in a second. There we go. So I remember a few weeks ago when I asked your friend that question about the crema and why they filter it out when they're doing cupping.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was interesting because I know that the crema, when you're buying like Turkish beans and Armenian beans, is that they want beans that make a lot of that. They love it. That's
Right.
like the prize. I don't know if you
Well, so
can
no,
see it
I think
here.
yeah, no, I can kind of see that coming out. That's looking good. But I think the
Yeah.
reason behind that for cupping is just that the crema, like the oil-based stuff inside the crema, masks the origin flavor of the coffee itself, and crema is largely a byproduct of like the roasting process, and so by eliminating that, you're better able to understand what the actual coffee is itself. Not saying that you don't want it, but just if you're cupping and you're trying to taste, okay, like I'm comparing these 3 different coffees, which one is better? Like the roast process, you don't want to get involved in choosing which one you're going to use from the growing aspect of things. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's my understanding of it.
It does. It helps you get the real expression of just the... Speaking of which, I think it looks different. So you actually take a little bit of the crema or try and like cut through and get some of the real coffee.
Uh-huh. Gotta
And
get
give
that
it a
slurp.
slurp. Yeah, taste done. Let's get our little demi-tasse going.
Yeah, so this is the part that I'm most interested in. So, like, do you let it settle and only pour out the top? Do you just pour it all in and you drink everything?
So the guy that sold it to me, his name is Henry. His recommendation is that you do kind of let it settle for a second. It helps if you kind of tap counter to let it
Yeah.
separate naturally. Just kind of give it a little bang bang there. And also, it's like the pot's boiling hot, so your shirt or a mitt or something because it's super hot. But yeah, ideally it separates naturally, and then you should just have like a nice, clean, even pour.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't look murky at all. And you can kind of see some of them going in at that point.
Towards the back end, and then you just have to cut it off. Yeah, that's good. There we go.
Okay, nice.
And there we go. There you have it. Let's get some natural light in here. How about that?
Beautiful. And so this is your every morning brew. This is like your routine.
Yes, this is like my little deal. I wake up, get the little pot going, pour in, and start cooking.
Nice. That's looking good. So tell me, tell me more about your morning routine. Like, so this is the coffee aspect of your morning routine. What else do you do every single morning?
Well, I guess Monday through Friday. Hold on, let's take a celebratory serve. You got some coffee right now, listen, or no?
No, I'm about to hit the grinder so I can make some. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I'll give you a coffee cheers in spirit. You drink your coffee.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I come downstairs, I get my coffee going. I check the weather. That's probably the very first thing I always do every day. Is I need to know what kind of weather I can expect on the road. So that way I know how to get ready for my day. I come and get my gear. I get suited up, get my jackets on, get my helmet on, get my glove pants, all my gear.
Oh, you're a biker,
get ready for the elements. Yes, sir. So
yeah,
weather is for me every day.
Yep. Back when I was still biking, that was more true. Nowadays, I never check the weather.
No.
Like never. It's a habit that I should get back into.
Yeah.
Be better prepared for the day. Okay, nice.
But yeah, and then I pack myself like a little lunch and get my backpack, and then I hit the road, ready to start my day. And I've never been a morning person, but the nature of my job has made me appreciate like the routine and the ritual and the stuff that you were saying. I think yesterday, right, in your video?
Was I touching on it yesterday? I don't even remember. I always forget the second I finish talking about something. But yeah, maybe I've probably talked about it a couple of times about how it's been one of the most impactful things for me personally is just like having the coffee ritual be a centering, grounding, if you will, part of I'm sorry for the terrible puns. Grounding part of my morning routine. Yep. Yeah, let me see if I can get those sound effects back in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I should not be in control of the production of this live stream stuff.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, right?
I guess so. And for the time being, it is all me. What was the other question that I had for you? Oh, when was the last? Tell me about the last cup of coffee that you made for somebody else.
Oh, you know what? The very first day that I got your box that had the tiny house coffee in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you find this as amusing as I do. This coffee, like this exact bean, this exact roast, this exact everything. This is the coffee that all of my like coworkers and office people and the managers, we all buy this coffee by like a 5-pound bullet. So we drink this coffee every day. I've been drinking this coffee every day for months.
And then I send you an extra
this cute little bag.
Yes. Okay. That's good to hear. Although I'm
The
sorry
cool
that you're
part,
now inundated with extra of coffee that you're already familiar with.
well, it brews really well. So, I mean, I've been drinking the heck out of it. I'm already halfway through this bag, man.
It is delicious. I've been definitely enjoying it.
But I'd say to answer your question, the first day that I got the coffee, I showed it to my girlfriend, and I was like, "Hey, we're gonna brew this coffee, but we're gonna use it with devices that are not available in the office, like over at the warehouse, because they just have like a normal, like paper filter, flat bottom drip, and that's not very. That doesn't do this coffee any justice,
Yeah.
you know." So we were able to
And
experiment with it. I made her like a little Ibrik espresso cup of it, and then we did some out of a French press, and then we did some out of your pour over, and we tried lots of different brew methods, and I think she really had fun playing
nice.
with the different brew methods.
Okay, cool. That's good to hear. That's one of my. I don't know. I'm of the opinion that coffee's one of those things that demands it be shared, demands it be drank together over companionship. Speaking
It
of
is,
which,
yeah. It's
my
a very
coffee's
social thing.
ready.
It's a very cultural.
Cheers to you, sir. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cheers, Wilson.
So you are before we tap out. I'm getting distracted and losing my own thoughts here. Before we tap out and go on to the next thing, what do you want to see in the next couple of months from the coffee subscription? You personally.
I guess. I think I'll just re-roll the same answer that I had probably last time. Is that I do look forward to seeing like some dark roast coffees or like dark
Mm-hmm.
roast blends, like maybe holiday time.
Okay, so we do. I'll give you a heads up that we have a dark roast coming in January. So look
Oh,
out for
okay,
that one.
awesome.
I think next month for December we might actually dip back further, like lighter than this for sure, and then January we'll go into the dark territory.
Nice. Okay.
Give you fair warning. Give you fair heads up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I did want to mention the one thing I have noticed about this little Ibrik, about this little Armenian pot, is
Yeah.
that um, there's like what is it? The way that the Armenians recommended it is that you use like a half and half blend for your beans. I don't know why, but it seems to make it seems to produce the best brew. So if you make like a little pot for yourself or like a brew or like a cup, they use half light roast, half dark roast. And I've experimented with the coffees you have. I've bought on my own, and I've done like
Huh.
just blonde and then just dark and then like a half and half, and the half and half through, and I don't know why.
That is kind of interesting. So they recommend that you just you make your own blend, you figure it out, and like use something that's darker, something that's lighter.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is
Okay,
about the
cool.
unity of the two different roasts, but it comes together in that little expression, and it's
But so
nice. It's really nice.
I should get it. I should just go buy one, right? I should make that happen.
Oh, totally, man. I mean, I recommend it. It's won me.
How and now this may be a dumb question. How does it compare to like a mocha pot, just the cup itself, like when you drink it?
That's a good question. I want to say that it might not be much different from a mocha pot from like a mechanical scientific standpoint because it's still immersed. You're not
Right.
really filtering it. You're getting the full expression of the grind and the brew. I guess just that the mocha pot makes it easier to make large amount? Question mark.
And it like percolates it up, so there's like some amount of filtering.
Yeah, I guess so. As opposed to this open top one that has no filtration at all. It kind of just, the filtering depends on the technique of your pour.
Right.
So I guess the mocha pot maybe does make it a little easier then.
Well, but also the mocha pot, now that I'm thinking about it, is probably going to reach higher temperatures because it's, it's percolating up and through. Like, you have to get it to that close to boiling point. Whereas you were saying, like, this, you want to hit the water around it boiling and then kind of let it sit for, like, a minute.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to get one. Let's see, the toys that are on my list that I just haven't pulled the trigger on are this, the Clever version 2, the December brewer, and there's a handful of others. I broke my French press recently, so I need to get a new one of those. Broke my Chemex recently and still haven't gotten one of those.
No!
I've broken so many
Coffee
Chemexes, and I know, it's just destroying everything all around me. But, All right, well, Christian, thank you so much for joining this morning. I hope you have a wonderful caffeinated Sunday and caffeinated rest of your week. Anything else before we go?
Oh, definitely. No, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Well, then I will let you know how it goes with the Ibrik once I get one, and I'll probably be asking you for tips.
Sweet. Okay, sounds good, man.
All right, talk to you later.